All right, we're going live. By the way, the name of this video, we're live right now, is Frankenmic is alive, and I'm using Frankenmic right now.
Oh, is this what we talked about like yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured I'd take her out for a spin. Take her out for a spin and see how she's doing there, bud. A bunch of people in the room still already. How many people in here? 7. How's she going? We even got a like on the stream. Hey, like, subscribe.
Smash, crush that like button.
3rd Degrees here.
Oh,
hey,
somebody
Beresford.
did too. It just went to 2.
Man, they actually have verifiable proof that if you tell people to hit the like button, people actually do hit the like button. They forget to do it.
Like I do. Like full disclosure,
Yeah.
I don't remember half the time. Like
Bandrew's in the room. Bandrew, how you doing, buddy? I've got my. I think I'm actually gained up a little tad too much. I'm just going to take it down just a bit. Dylan, let's do a check on your audio.
check it 1, check 2, check 1, check 2.
Yeah, you're doing okay. All right, that's enough.
Settle down there, kiddo.
Midnight Wolf got the S22 Ultra, and in the Pro Video mode, it has some surprising mic features I wouldn't expect on a phone. Yeah, I was seeing that VU meter. That's kind of cool.
Daniel Godet has Daniel Godet or got it been on this? I'm assuming Godet.
I think so. I think I've seen the name. How's it going, Daniel? Midnight
I
Wolf
don't recognize the name.
is showing off all the really, really bad.
Who's Midnight Wolf? I don't think they've been on the
Yeah.
on the stream before.
There's an SM5 on eBay. No one has bid on it yet. Dylan, can you look that up for me while you're doing this?
Yeah, it's probably got some lol green wannabe snot all over it.
I might want to buy it. Press the like button if you like dead air. What? There's dead air? What? What dead air? Good luck getting the SM5. Beep, beep. Hey, what's up, guys? Gear Junkie, all caught up. So how's everyone doing?
What up, GJ?
I am officially using the Frankenmic. This video is going to be coming out on Monday as to how it's put together. I don't want to give too much away about what the Frankenmic is, but I do have a fat head on it. I don't know if that's going to be any dead giveaway. For the live stream, I've got a fat head on it.
Okay, I see an SM5 for 900 US.
900 US.
No thanks.
How
plus
much? What's your line? How much would you spend on an SM5?
Not a lot, because they're all used and they all are probably gross. I mean, if it was like a refurbed SM5, that'd be a little different. But if it's just something that has been living in a studio, probably cigarette smoke and like gross, I don't want that.
Would you? So
now, if somebody gave it to me, that's different. But for a used SM5, given how old they all are at this point, I'd probably say 400.
All right, Bandrew, are you willing to actually let us know, Bandrew, how much you spent on your SM5? I would love to. I would love to hear. And you know, I mean,
no judgment. Everyone's different. Yeah, no shame.
No shame.
If you paid $2,500, I mean, I might laugh a little bit, but I'll try not.
You also don't have to tell us, buddy. I would just be curious to know, Bandrew, if you're still here, how much you spent on your SM5. And
wow, read what the seller says about the condition. It looks yellow. That's what
Bangs wants to know. What is a Dracumic? I don't know. This is a Frankenmic.
Yeah,
Dracumic. What?
A Frankenmic, a Dracumic.
Well, that's what
a anthropomorphic creature mic.
I also came up with a name for this, saving that for the video as well. I know there's not a lot of people that join these streams. I think we get 20, 25 people in. I don't want to give away too much even to the 2025 because these are the people that actually go out and watch the video right away, which I appreciate all of you for that. This was an easy project, though, Dylan. Like, this was stupid easy to get this done. I thought it was going to take me a couple days of shooting because, you know, when you start to do little things like taking mics apart and kind of jamming the parts into other parts, you expect to hit... Yeah, okay, shut up, you child.
I'm sorry. You just those words just landed right where they needed to land.
I was also doing this thing with my hands.
Just putting parts inside other parts.
Well, I was expecting. I thought it was more, but only $680. I thought it was more. $680 is not bad.
That's not bad. Yeah, no, that's pretty good. The current one is 50% more than that.
The one Bandrew got was, I believe, was in basically like audibly in mint condition. Like it didn't have any
Audibly in mint condition. Sonically mint.
Sonically.
I want to make a studio just with a bunch of vintage gear and call it Sonic Mint Studios.
Sonic
I think
Mint Studios.
that'd be a really cool name.
I actually kind of like that, man.
just have all used stuff, like nothing new.
Copyright Dylan Alone 2022.
Somebody steals it, I will find you.
But you know when you start to Rob, how's it going, buddy? You know when you start to do a project like something that where you're going to be kind of going off the grid. Nobody's really done it before, and you're like, oh man, I know that I'm going to end up having to mess around with a bunch of things that God never intended you to mess around with. So I'm putting aside like 2-3 days to shoot this. The video's basically done. I started it yesterday. Like yesterday afternoon, I'm like, I guess I'll just kind of just start ripping stuff apart and putting it together.
Ripping shit apart.
And yeah, within like, I think I shot the whole thing over the course of 2 hours. And that was including all the top-down stuff, all of the side-by-sides with the microphones involved. And I was blown away. And the video's only 6.5 minutes long. I think it's under 7 minutes.
That's gonna have some good user retention.
It was so easy to do. I'm actually kind of disappointed it wasn't harder. You know, like when you're like, oh, this is going to be great content because I'm going to have to struggle. And
I had that once when I had to fix like a heater, like a ceramic heater, and I busted it open expecting to find like quantum physics at work.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what the
wires.
fuck? Yeah, it's 2 wires and a little coily thing, and that's it. I'm like, well, fuck. I was hoping this was going to be like a triumphant, a success, but nope.
Well, we'll see how it's received. Also on the docket, I'm going to have a lot of SE content coming up. SE got a hold of me about 3 weeks ago saying, hey, we love your stuff. Do you want to work together? I'm like, all right, what do you got?
I can't say I've ever used an SE Electronics product. I've never heard anything bad about them.
This is Banju's favorite handheld is the SE V7. So I was like, yeah, I'll take a V7. I've wanted to do a V7 video, but I haven't really gotten around to pulling the trigger on the mic because I have so many freaking handheld microphones.
These companies got to stop using V in their freaking product names.
Why?
They're getting inflated. Like Vanguard has a V7, and now SE has a V7. Yeah, well, Vanguard's mics are all pretty much Vs, or at least all the big.
Vanguard, I think SE had theirs first.
Of course they did. Of course they did. So Vanguard is on you. I mean, I don't think anyone has a V13 because that's kind of a very unique number to choose, but.
Oh, they're sending me a couple of the V7s, Dynacaster. So I'm gonna have lots of content. I'm gonna try to space it all out so it doesn't turn into an SE.
Gonna get spaced out, man.
But yeah, they're like, they didn't even request a review. That was fantastic. That's what I love when companies get a hold of you. And actually, I've got something to share that I would really love to share. I got approached by a distributor that's based in the U.S. that's really shady, really, really shady. And when we're going back to a lot of the talk that we're having about expectations when you're getting product to do reviews and what you're doing the reviews for and kind of motivation for doing those reviews, I got a perfect example of somebody that I'm probably not going to work with unless they really clarify a few things. I'll share that in just a few. That's let me see.
Look at Billboard McGillicuddy over here. Coming up next. Well, after the break.
No, it's going to be a fun chat. So I'm going to get all the product in, all the SE product in, and then I'll reach out.
I think we should torture our little clan here a little bit. I think we should talk about some of the things we learned from our little project this week, but not talk about not say what it is, no, what the song is or anything.
So I'm averaging now. I'm assuming the amount of work you've put into this. Okay, I'm making an assumption. We have a big project we've been working on at Dark Corner Studios. Dylan has been Dylan took the lion's share of it, and that's saying that before anything's being done to finalize it. But yeah, how do you want me to approach this?
What's one thing? So I guess can we say the mic that we used? Can we say that?
Yeah.
Or you want to? So we use the SM58 to record all assets for this piece, all the backline.
Yeah.
For this song, I'm not gonna say what the song is just yet. But what's one thing that you were pleasantly surprised by? Whether it's something that I sent you that sounded a certain way, or whether something you recorded that sounded a certain way. Like, what's one thing that surprised you about the 58's
sound of the acoustic guitar? on the SM58 with the two 58s recording the even with, and this didn't actually make it into the final cut, but the sound of recording a ukulele on an SM58 was actually quite nice. I didn't expect the fullness of the ukulele to come through, and I didn't use any. I just used the gain off my pre's. Mm-hmm. I didn't add anything into it. A lot of the content you sent me, like, I don't even know how you got it, because some of the instruments, you want to share some of the instruments you used to record this song?
Yeah, so there was some reamp stuff. So obviously 58, that's easy. I think the hardest thing was to record shakers with a 58.
You nailed it, by the way.
I had to have, so I've got a 75 dB preamp here. That the 58 was going into. And again, 58, let's keep in mind the 58 doesn't have the same issues as the SM7 as far as output. But not only did I have to run it through the 75 dB pre at like 3 o'clock, I had to use a cloud lifter for the shakers. So 58, which already has an output transform in it, going into a cloud lifter, adding another, couple gain stages in there, and then into a 75 dB pre, probably using about 70 of that 75 dB of gain. And I was surprised, you heard it, the noise wasn't that bad. I mean, I definitely had to strategically aim the mic away from any possible noise sources, because though I always, when I used to do a lot of live sound stuff, one of my old sort of mentors would say, he would use the jaws of life description. Like when you play with the gain knob on a board, it's like the higher you turn up the gain, the more the jaws are sort of opening up and allowing. So dynamic mics get more sensitive around their periphery at higher gain stages.
Yes.
Or at higher levels of gain, or higher gain factors, if you want to get specific. But so that was the hard part. I was pleasantly...
This is just banjo.
Yeah, no, it was ridiculous. That said, I did go through... I'm fussy with shakers, and I spent a long time trying different things. Because the nice thing about shakers is you can basically use anything as a bloody shaker. Just go into your kitchen, grab random things. And it sounded good being recorded. But I even told you, I said, don't. Yeah, unless you're gonna soften up the high end. I said they're taking the attention away from everything else. That's the problem.
Oh, dude, TechMed, cheers, brother. Thank you, thank you for that. I will have to say, Bandrew, he put a 75 plus 25 dB of gain on that, and you could hear them. They overtook the whole. I sat down with the mix of the music, and I'm doing the mix, and that was kind of the whole process. I got Dylan to add some of his flavor to the song, and I sit down with the mix, and the shakers come in the last chorus, and I'm like, well, this sounds pretty good. Like, I don't hear these shakers, but I hadn't really looked at all the tracks yet. And then that last chorus hit, and all you hear is, what the fuck?
Yeah. So that's why, like, even when I told you, I said, like, having it fade in from the pre-chorus. So that was the hardest part. Recording the mandolin wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Those little plucks. It's funny, as I was recording it, one of the strings snapped, and I don't have spare mandolin strings, so I had to revise. I originally was doing kind of strummed chords, but I had to revert to, like, just kind of a two-note thing, just because, fuck you, mandolin. The most pleasant surprise for me, though, honestly, was the bass. Because that was, you had said right out of the gate when you were sending this stuff over to me, you had said, I really want a bass for this. Yeah. And I said, okay, all right. So that was the first thing I did, was the bass, because I get that out of the way and then do the spit and polish. And obviously I've got a good bass amp, so it carries its own. But 58s aren't exactly known for their low end clarity. That's more of an SM7 kind of thing. But I was surprised by itself. Like when I would solo out the bass, it's definitely sounded muffled, even though I was going scooped on the amp. But in the context of the mix, I really found like it held its own.
It really did, and that's the nice thing. You didn't want it to be crystal slap. You didn't want that like. Well,
especially I was on like an active 5-string, so like I was trying so hard not to like have the strings bouncing off the board, and you could like during the chorus, I said, "Fuck it, it's it's a big." I liked some of the reamped stuff. So for the audience's sake, so I reamped a Mark 1, a 200A, so Wurlitzer and a Rhodes, and then a simulated Hammond M3.
Yeah.
And the Hammond was a little pointy. I would have definitely wanted to finesse the EQ on that a little bit because of the mid-range on that fucking 50.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was the 58 or the amp. Those kinds of things aren't supposed to be reamped. But obviously in this context, I don't have a Leslie 122 just lying around. So
Yeah, it was awesome. So basically, the premise when we talk about reamping, because we couldn't use everything, had to be going through an SM58. That was the main purpose of this video.
That was the challenge.
The main concept of this video. So if you had something that was going DI to your computer, you have to bring it out of your computer, back through an amp and through a mic again. That way, that's the only thing you can record. Ms. Ravioli, how's it going? I didn't have it on top chat or live chat, so a couple things coming in. Third degree got a new interface.
So that said, so the bass was I liked the Rhodes. The Wurlitzer I found, because Whirlies are always especially like 200A, like the classic Whirly, are very mid-rangey, and the 58 is mid-rangey, and amps are mid-rangey. It just kind of made it very pointy.
Yeah.
So that's why on your end, when we were talking about plugins and stuff, I mentioned that you should get a transient shaper just to dial down that attack a little bit. The Rhodes, though, I thought the Rhodes sounded really nice, especially with that sort of EFX track that I sent you to fill it out, just this big cathartic sound. Other than that, my other biggest surprise was I recorded bongos and congas, as you will have noticed, and they sounded good.
Everyone's probably sitting there. Does anyone have any guesses on what the song is?
That's a good question. Yeah,
because
I doubt it.
Bongos, congos, 200.
Bongos, congas, bunch of guitars, mandolins, like a Rhodes and a Wurlitzer. Like these are all generally, some of these things don't go with each other normally.
So, and if anyone, like in the whole purpose of these, if these take off, if these actually get a decent amount of traction, I will do more. And the reason I say if is because, and I started off saying this, I'm going to guess it's going to be about 100 hours of work to get this video done. Yep. Minimum.
Easily.
And then on top of that, shooting the video and all that and editing and everything, like 100's very easy to hit. So Hotel California.
Especially between two people.
Fuck, Hotel California would have been great, man.
No, next one.
No. You know what? I already kind of have a list of a couple that I want to do. Just because I am kind of I'm kind of limited by the gear I have. Now Dylan has a lot more gear, but I want to have what I'm putting into the music, I want to be substantial enough so it's not a song of Dylan and me singing. I wanted this to be.
Speaking of which, while I'm going to just call you out, do you still want to try out some backing vocals? Do you want me to send you some of that?
I think I might. I think I might. Just I'm not very good at laying down backing vocals. I'm not good at there's some rules of doing backing vocals that I've never
there's a method.
There's a method, and I've never really learned it because I've always been the lead singer or I've always been the just the guitarist. I've never done backing vocals. So
first time I ever did backing vocals on a song was, shameless plug, a song I put out a few years ago now called Letter to a Friend. And it was there's two versions. There's a now version and there's a then version. The then version during the bridge part of that song, if anyone's ever heard it or listens to it, that was the first time I'd ever made a real attempt at laying down solid backing vocals. And I fell in love with the sound immediately. So I'm like, man, I'm going to do this all the time now.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass.
It's really
you're doing like 18 different, doing doubles and triples and quads of everything, and it's it's a very precise process. But anyway, I think the other thing that I was a little bit I found interesting was I recorded a cajon, which that thumpy motherfucker. I recorded it one way and then I listened to it, and because. To get the sound of the snares, for anyone that doesn't maybe know what a cajon is, it's basically, I call it a bum box. And it's just it's a stool, it's a Cuban instrument.
Yeah.
And you sit on it, you basically slap it, and it's got snares inside it, or some of them. And then there's a sound hole at the back. So generally you kind of mic up the sound hole.
Yeah, they're snare springs, right?
Yeah, I'm always reluctant to mic sound holes on things because that's where air comes out. And it goes poof, poof, poof against the mic. And so the amount of recording and trial and error that I had to do with that 58, for all the instruments, full disclosure, I took off the windscreen just so I can get some more high end and get the element closer to the source, especially for the shakers. but that was actually the only one that I actually had to put the filter back on.
Screen in front of it.
And by the time I sent it to you, the air was pretty much gone. It was still very thumpy, which is why I think I even sent you a message to dial back the low end a little bit in the mix, because it's just going to take over. Especially the bass and it are going to be fighting like crazy.
Oh, and anyway. This is interesting. Saku says, need to get Bandrew to provide backing vocals with a carbon mic. This is something I've considered. And once again, this is all comes down to if this video does well, will I put more into other songs? I do have a couple originals that I will end up putting out regardless, because you got to remember, because I'm doing covers, I'm not going to make any money off these videos. There's not going to be a penny coming to me for doing this. And for putting 100 hours into one of them, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. But if they get traction, that can pay off in better dividends in other ways.
Maybe a cool thing to do for members would be in the champagne room to basically put out like an APB if we're working on a song, and say, hey, does anybody have this mic? If you do, and then we sort of give people the opportunity to collaborate with us.
I like that.
That would be kind of neat.
Yeah, so I've thought about reaching out to creators, Bandrew being one of them, just to see. I don't know the musical expertise of everybody that's in the mic sphere in YouTube.
Reach out. You should reach out to Rick Beato. He'd probably be down.
Rick Beato. That would be interesting.
He's got like 1 million mics, so guaranteed whatever mic you pull out, he's
probably got. And if I do anything harder or heavier, reaching out to Glenn.
Yes. Yeah, good old Glenn Fricker the fucker.
He's going to make fun of my mix.
Oh, 100%. He's going to rip you to pieces. But actually, I don't know. I know Glenn's a guitar guy. I know he hates bass players. Just as a general.
All of them do.
Oh, God.
That's
because there's so many guitar players that are like repurposed, to play bass, and it's like, no, come on.
Yeah, bass is an instrument. Bandrew says I ain't good enough to be a session musician. Yeah, Bandrew, if I reach out, it'd be something simple, but I think it would be kind of a fun mock-up to get like all of the microphone audio sphere of YouTube kind of all in on one song. I think that would be kind of cool.
I think Warren too from Produce Like a Pro, he'd be down too.
He's very
community oriented.
Even if they don't play an instrument, you can get them shakers or something
or like even doing like a reaction video and trying to get a bunch of creators to guess what mic you use to record the songs, and like just do a montage video of just like them guessing and them sitting on camera going, I think this whole song was done with like an NT5. Nope. Try again.
Nope. That'll be interesting. And I've thought about like short shotgun mics.
There's so many, like this thing really, if it takes off, this thing has legs. Like there's so many different spins that you could put on these videos and make them interesting.
Well, and that's what I'm really looking forward to, because I kind of want, one is the message of the video is even with just an SM58, you can record some pretty wicked music.
Surprisingly.
You can do a lot of really cool stuff with just one single microphone. It's going to take you forever. You're going to have to be a lot more inventive in how you do it, but you can do it pretty fly for a white guy.
Make sure you have good pre's, especially if you're using a 58. Jesus, like I can't imagine running the 58 through like the 2i2 for some of the stuff I had to record.
Girls just want to have fun. Yes.
That'd be cool. I'd be down.
I actually wanted to do Bootylicious at one point. I don't know if I can get the inflections right. But that sounds like a me song. I do want to have a lot of fun with this as well. The first song's a little serious, but I do want to move towards a little bit of a goofy edge for a lot of this
stuff. First one's serious, but I think we both talked about it strategically. It's a simpler song. So as far as a pilot, it made sense to choose.
Well, I can't even imagine if we're doing something a little bit more intensive, how that would go over. One of the songs that I wanted to do, and I still actually want to do a cover of it with Dylan, is Bridge Over Troubled Waters. That would be, but I wanted to kind of give it a Disturbed spin. Not the way Disturbed did Sound of Silence, but kind of the same concept of the kind of a broken down. That song would take forever, just the singing of it, being able to like hit those notes perfectly, because you don't mess around with Simon and Garfunkel. You do not mess around with Simon and Garfunkel. You either do it right or you don't do it at all.
No, and even like, earlier this week, you and I had a lengthy chat about pitch correction, and I sent you some little video tips and tricks for some stuff. And that in and of itself, I mean, it's such a controversial subject because everyone's like, if you're a real singer, it's like, no. The current world of music has been acclimatized to hearing accurate pitch.
Yeah.
This isn't, we can't necessarily get away with Led Zeppelin, willy-nilly vocals these days,
No.
as much as that stuff was great in its time and it still is great. So I think knowing if you're going to do anything with music, being familiar with proper ways of doing pitch correction and pitch editing is really important.
They just brought this up. Barbie Girl. If I were to get my daughter singing the Barbie Girl part of that and just auto-tune the fuck out of it.
Just share it up. Share it up.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party. I think I could. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think that's something. I also would love to get a carbon mic to play one song on a carbon mic. Dylan, you think we could do that?
Well, first I have to get one.
That would sound interesting.
I want to use the copper phone. I want to use the copper phone to record everything. I don't even think that's a carbon mic, but it is a very interesting sounding mic.
Yeah, it was. I do too. It sounds like 8-bit audio.
Bander, is it copper phone or copper tone? I think you have one. Don't
copper
you?
phone. Copper tone is the stuff you put on your.
I know
skin.
It is.
Yeah.
But I just get those mixed up all.
For multiple vocals dubbed over each other, Seven Bridges Road. I don't know the song Seven Bridges Road. Bang says my 58 has a massive wide triangular cut at 1,000 hertz. Interesting.
Hey.
Fuck the world. I love Cher. Life After Love. Oh, that. Do you believe in life after love? Yeah.
I think the song's just called "Believe."
Yeah,
I know
think
what you're talking
so
about.
too. That would be.
I only know because, like, as a kid, I was like obsessed with that song.
I guess do some T-Pain stuff and get some of that auto tune just ripping.
I sort of like you have you have RT, Waves Tune RT,
Yeah.
which facilitates that. Especially when you can basically with that MIDI thing I was showing you, you can map it and use it basically as a vocoder. Like if you have a MIDI controller, so you could do some interesting experimentation with that too.
Yeah. So Copperphone is a telephone sounding mic. Yeah, like 8-bit.
Yeah, well, not 8. Everyone says 8-bit. That's not accurate.
Shut up.
Have you ever heard 8-bit audio? It doesn't really sound that much different than 16-bit other than it's got a fuck ton of noise under it.
It's by the Eagles. Carbon phone is a carbon mic. Yeah. I'm not quite there where I can start. I know the copper phone's, I think, about $600-700 here in Canada. I think.
Yeah.
I looked it up at one time. So one of these days I'll get around and I'll grab that. Keisha, wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. I'm loving this. I'm loving the song recommendations, guys. Keep this stuff coming. Hold the Line by Toto. Will I do a Toto song on my channel? I don't know. Once again, guys, this is all going to be relative to whether or not it goes over.
Yes.
It's probably about 2 to 3 weeks away. I would love to get it sooner. We're going to be doing a video prior to it, kind of showing you the process we go through and the process we went through to put the video together and what the message of the video is going to be. And then it's just going to be a music video released after. Probably pretty cheesy, but it should be a lot of fun. I can't be fun with this song in the video because it's kind of disrespectful to the tone of the video, but...
And the song, mainly the song.
Yeah, you know what? And it's just because of the artists that did this song, the artists that did this song, and the message of the song. Yeah. And actually, the way the world is right now, you don't want to disrespect this song. Let's just put it that way.
Nope.
The Star Trek edit. All right, so really quick, let's move away from that.
I was gonna say world's longest teaser.
I got So I got an email. So somebody on Facebook messaged me, and this is.
Is this the head thing?
Yeah. So, with the head thing? What?
Well, you told me that like a drum head manufacturer reached out to you.
Yes. And this is. I got a really weird message from this guy saying, "Hey, love your stuff. I represent Lewitt and Attack Drumheads. Was it?"
Lewitt, yay, Attack. I don't know.
Yeah, but he said I represent them in Canada. He's an American.
Okay, so distributor of some
kind of.
Something
maybe
sketchy here. I don't.
So he's like, hey, you know what? How about we do a trade? And this is the first thing. Now, when we talk about like what you're getting for videos and what you're doing for videos, whenever the concept of a trade comes up, it instantly makes you shut down as a YouTuber because I have nothing to trade you. I'm not going to give you any kind of a benefit in my videos for money or for no. There's no trade here. You can give me a microphone to let me do a review. That's the trade. There's no like. So this is what he said. Hayden, thanks for the reply. We want to work with you and help you to grow your channel. I think your work is amazing, and I'm a big fan. With Lewitt, we offer partners discount. This gets you access to our product lines with major discounts. The partners account also gets you specialty products from time to time, free in exchange for extra promo. But our accounts is currently set up for discount in exchange for promo.
This sounds like a brand ambassador thing.
But in exchange for promo, okay, so here's the line that you're getting a hold of a review channel. And if he wants, like, I already work with somebody where not a brand ambassador really, but I work with a distributor in Canada, Jam Industries. And Jam doesn't have, like, they send me stuff. They don't know what I'm going to say about it. And that was the first thing I said is, you can send me anything you like, but I can't say, oh, you know what, don't worry about it. I'll make sure this sells. That's not the conversation.
The brand ambassador thing, though, that stuff is a scam. 99%. Like that's where somebody messages you and they say, like on your Instagram or something, they're like, "Hey, we like your account. We'll discount our stuff, and like we think you'd be great to represent our product." And 9 times, I've never done it personally. I've gotten approached to do it. I always say no because 9 times out of 10, the product is absolute shit.
But it doesn't matter if you're offering me a Lewitt mic at a heavy discount in exchange for promo. You are offering to let me borrow the mic to do a promotional piece on the microphone at a reduced price. Now, here's the thing. That stuff does work on some YouTube channels. Like, for example, let's say Lewitt calls me and says, "Hey, dude, loved what you did with that first One Mic, One Song. Here's X amount of money. Could you do that with a Lewitt mic?" Sure. Like, why not? Or like, okay, today we're One Mic, One Song. We're going to do the Lewitt LCT 440. I'm not reviewing it. I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm showing you what you can do with the microphone.
This is a practical demonstration.
Yeah, practical demonstration. But when you're telling me for promo is a lot different than using the product for... That's where, like, my hackles went up, per se. Also, he messaged me on Facebook. That doesn't help either.
Sketch. Like on your page or your personal?
Personal.
Ooh,
oh, no, it was on my page. No, it was on my page.
Right,
Sorry.
I was going to say that's slightly less of a flag, but still.
Well, if he had known how to get a hold of me through my personal page, I would have been creeped the hell out.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, no.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
So you can't disrespect the song given what's going on in the world. It's got to be the Tetris theme song.
I saw that. It was great. Stellar.
That comment wins the day right there.
100%.
I'm waiting for Tudor Watches to ask me to be a brand ambassador along with Lady Gaga. Oh, that's kind of awesome. I would work with Lady Gaga. Hey, I got to tell my daughter to let the dogs out.
Okay, this tube compressor is cooking my kneecap. Fuck off.
Damn.
So I'm like, I'm warm.
But did you see the PC manufacturer that did a live giveaway stream for their ambassadors to win a PC, and they refused the winner as too small after they won live on stream? Oh, wow.
Sketch.
Which PC manufacturer was that? I will boycott that shit. That is gross.
Yep.
But there are NZXT. I could see kind of being like that. If it was NZXT, I'm gonna feel bad. It's not gonna be Corsair, although Corsair has a very firm line for who they'll work with.
Their bar is quite rigid, which, I mean, respect to Corsair. They're an integral company.
Yeah, but they tell you they have a certain amount of views that you need before they'll work with you, before they'll send you any product, and that's fine.
At least they're not like that company that you talked about last week. You got that super belligerent email from.
Yeah.
No, laughing at you.
I actually told Bandro I was going to check into that to see if they'll talk to me again. This week was rough.
Yeah, I hear that.
What was that? what all the hullabaloo was on Twitter. I'm actually kind of curious. Banks, come on, man, hook me up. My daughter's letting the dogs out. That was the ding.
She let the dogs out.
Newegg. Oh, it was Newegg?
Of course it
was this the
so,
point?
Aiden, you gonna boycott Newegg?
Oh no, after the Gamers Nexus stuff? Yeah. Was it Gamers Nexus? No, it was UFD Tech. UFD
Darren,
Tech.
what is up? Dab.
That's your buddy Darren?
It's my buddy Darren, yeah.
Oh. Hi Darren. How's it going, Dab Burke? I'm always curious about names and where they come from. Although, does your buddy dab a lot?
No.
You can tell me.
Not to my knowledge. It's an abbreviation. I'm sure at some point he'll probably change that.
What's an abbreviation for?
It's initials for a name.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Welcome, Daniel Gaudet. Artesian Builds was the one that did a 180. Artesian Builds. I've never actually heard of Artesian. That is gross. But I mean, the computer space right now is toxic as all fuck.
Hello, Mark.
Yeah, that's one I was thinking of. Tons of people tweeting about that. The computer sphere right now between creators, the community, and everyone is super toxic. If you watch anybody other than Linus Tech Tips, it's there's a lot of like animosity and shit going on.
I was gonna say, what's going on with Jay these days? I haven't.
All I know is like he's one of my favorite outspoken ones on Twitter because I actually had an interaction where I actually had to Jay's 2 cents somebody, because just being a complete dick about things. But Jay just calls people out for it all the time. Dab says initials. Thanks, Dab.
Yeah.
Anyways, I had this interaction. Somebody messaged me on the M Audio kit, the microphone bundle, and they're like,
"Is this the one that you took a big shit on that time?"
Yes, that was the one I took a big shit on.
I mean, the shit was fair. I mean, let's be honest.
It was the micro.
It did not go over well with people.
Still isn't going over well. Neither is the Scarlet one. I keep getting hate for that shit. But the guy he comments on the video saying, "Hey, I've got an i5. What should I buy?" I said, "Dude, I've got 150 some odd videos. Go take a look and make your mind up." One, the amount of time it would take me to figure out what your situation is, what you're doing with the gear, what's your room like, what's your setup. Like, you just tell me what your computer is. Your computer doesn't even matter.
So many people put so much, like, I'll see it on like whatever gear place, whatever they call it now. And they'll list every single, like, North Bridge, South Bridge, all this shit about their computer. And I'm like, what's your interface? What's your mic? What's your room? What's
your computer just receives the ones and zeros and displays it. It has nothing to do with your audio.
No,
and so
I mean, if you're posting in a thread about a problem that you're having with your computer, that's different. But if you're talking about like, hey, so this mic isn't working. And then you list it's a Core i7 3820K. I'm like, I don't care.
He wanted me to tell him what to buy. So I said, well, listen, I'm not your personal,
shopping guide.
Yeah, I'm not your personal shopping guide. Make your decision based on what you need. And he got mad. He was like, "No, I'm not subscribing to you. You are very negative in your reviews." And then he said something along the lines of, "You won't even give me alternatives to what to buy outside of the M Audio." And I'm like, dude, if you watch the video, I actually gave alternatives in the video. There's actually links in the video description.
It's like people just start, and obviously this is actually what happens, but people start like rage commenting like halfway through the video, and it's just
it wasn't smart. It was, anyways. I kind of let loose on him. Felt a little bad, but I'm over it now. Dabs.
Clearly.
So I will say, listening to you two, my Amazon wish list is going through the fucking roof.
It's true. We just had a lengthy chat earlier this week. Darren's putting together a studio, and he's been using a lot of your videos as sort of a baseline for what to do, what not to do. So you've been helping out Darren a lot in his quest.
I'm glad I could help you spend some money, brother. Mark,
story of my life.
Mark wants to know Mac or PC. Yeah, I guess that kind of matters, but most modern interfaces work on both. So
It's really a preference thing. I mean, I have a personal vendetta against Macs at this point, but I don't judge anybody for using Mac at all.
that's right. Daniel says Jay's 2 cents took the initiative to help out the streamer that was shafted by Artesian builds and built her a top-of-the-line AMD system with a 3080 Ti and a Ryzen 9 5950. Which, by the way, like, as much as Jay's 2 cents, he's a quirky bugger. Dude is usually looking out for people, and that was probably a stunt build. Like, he probably had AMD give him all this stuff for it, but that's cool to see. That is very.
You know
cool
what's
to see.
sad is I don't have a problem with Jay, but in my brain, the thing that I will always associate Jay with is that video on the SM7.
The SM7B.
That will forever be just grilled into that guy's brand in my head. That one, and again, like, he was honest. He was like, "Hey, I fucked up. Like, guys,
Well, the
like,
video, if you missed it, by the way, is he put the SM7B here and said, "This sounds like garbage. Why doesn't this sound great?
Does it sound good?"
And people were like, "Dude, that's a close talker, Mike." Anyways, yeah, he owned up to it. I gotta appreciate him.
I don't. It doesn't have a black mark on my record, but anytime I think of Jay, that's always the first thing that pops into my head.
He's actually very, very accomplished. He's not an engineer. He's an electrical engineer, I believe.
Doesn't surprise me. His approach to builds definitely, his process.
Yeah.
His process definitely is reminiscent of that.
Yeah, so he's very, very smart dude, knows what he's doing. But once again, microphones are, if you don't use microphones, that's, I guess, why the channel exists. Midnight Wolf, I do karaoke. What should I use? But yeah, and that's the thing. Like, also, it's getting really annoying when, like, I get a lot of emails of people saying, "Dude, could you just help me out?" If I actually spent time individually addressing everybody,
you wouldn't have time for anything else.
I wouldn't have time for anything else. That's why we do the videos. Now, I've had some people message me, even Third Degrees message me, but there's somebody that's on the channel, right? Always participating, watches the videos. If I don't know you from anyone, I'm probably not answering your email. Because
no. And I mean, like, hey, if you want that kind of one-on-one service, that's what memberships are for.
Well, but it's also like, become part of the channel, hang out,
Exactly.
get on the
part
Discord,
of the community, right? Become part of the community.
Crackle, oops. But yeah, like that, and that's the thing. The amount of creators right now that are talking out about this, the email that's listed on the YouTube page, by the way, it's actually kind of a dirty secret that you don't message that. You're going to be, yeah.
I mean, I never have, but I never would have guessed. That's somewhat counterintuitive.
Because it says right on it, business inquiries.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's not business, if you're just like,
oh
dude,
yeah, like if I want, like, I would just post that in a comment. Like, I'm not going to email somebody unless I have a business proposition.
Right? Or you have a prior relationship, which again, like, I'll point out, like, once again, Third Degree messaged me. We chatted. I helped him out. I listened to something. That's fine. Like, that stuff's fine. But that's also somebody that I know is going to watch my video when I put it out on Monday. Right?
Actually, there's someone that is a part of this community that I won't name by name, but they're not here at the moment, it seems, that actually sent me an email to my business email address. And it was just like, "Hey, how are you?"
You're going to have to tell me off stream. I can't wait. Like, I've messaged other creators. I started chatting with Bandrew over Twitter. Right? Like, but it's also, I don't think I would email Bandrew unless it's a business email where it's
like again, if you and Bandrew are collaborating on one of those one song, one mic things, that's different.
Yes.
But most of the time.
Exactly. Midnight Wolf, that's what the live in the Discord's for. If somebody shows up in the live and says, "Dude, what should I buy?"
Yeah.
Of course we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll have a chat. That's what the lives are for.
So yeah, I don't feel as much of a dick as I did before. I guess there's that. Somebody, we're virus clone. We love you, Uli, and waiting for what the hell? Somebody, it's a comment on the Behringer. It's another video that I get a lot of hate for, the Behringer video.
I mean, it's Behringer, guys. Like,
I think I'm gonna have to stop doing some of the negative videos. I think I'm gonna have to pull back on those. Was he asking about lack of zip fizz?
Lack of
Liberty
sick
Dude.
face.
Was that Liberty Dude that purchased? I think it was Liberty Dude.
It was a collective effort, but I think Liberty Dude definitely dropped a significant coin into
that was
into
Liberty Dude.
till.
Trust me, we'll get Dylan here maxed out on Zip Fizz soon enough. Don't worry.
I'm having like a lungo shot of espresso for the first time on the stream. I'm just fucking wired right now.
In February, Acusonus was acquired by Meta. Really?
Anything to do with Meta, I'm like, stay away.
Acusonus was acquired by Meta. Wait, I'll finish your. I did not know that. Fucking Meta. Thanks for your support. Acusonus is embarking on a new adventure. The adventure of being turned into a parking lot. Oh, stupid Meta.
Fucking Meta.
Big fan of their ERA bundle. I've been using them for live streams noise removal. Daniel, what kind of noise removal do you need on your live stream? Like, is it that bad? Like, do you sit beside a large fan? Hey, Missy Moo.
Or an airport?
Yeah, like, I've always been curious about people that need the gating on a live stream. Like,
I mean, I think condensers can be a huge issue. Like right now, I have a window open. I have computers with fans blaring. There's some noise, but it's manageable, obviously. Yeah. Also, I have a gate, so that helps.
Yeah, but your gate isn't like that. Like when you're talking, you don't hear that much of the room. You hear a little bit of the reflection.
Honestly, this Wheatstone M2, most of the digital processing in it is not great, but I am very impressed with the quality, the resolution of the gate. It is a very good gate. Probably the best gate I've ever heard on anything.
Nice.
Very transparent.
Is that why I'm getting emailed my Acusonus keys recently? Uh-oh. Third Degree says, it's hard being a noob. I used Behringer interface for a few months before I tried something more substantial. Yeah, and you know what? I mean, that video wasn't a shot at people that owned Behringer.
Okay,
it was just...
So Aiden, what is one thing that you've bought that you wish you didn't?
I'm sitting in front of it right now. The AT2040.
Everybody has a product that they purchased that they wish that they hadn't. I have given away most of the things that I wish that I hadn't, but for me, it was the ART M4 tube mic. Actually, anything ART, take it from me, folks. I've invested in that company a fair amount over the years that I wish that I hadn't. That company has a quality control problem. Yeah. Every single product that I've bought from ART has had some defect within about 3 months. Sometimes it's not a bad one. Sometimes it's just a bad switch or something that's, a little deoxid or whatever, but there's always a problem. Always. So stay the hell away.
Oh, Daniel does venue live streams of 20 to 200 people. Fair enough. Okay, answered. Get a good gate for that, man. That's the other thing, right? Like using physical gear versus whatchamacallit gear on the computer. Using a gate on your software. There we go. Using hardware versus software for stuff like gating.
I think usually software gates tend to be more intelligent than hardware gates. It's about the only time that I would say that anything software is better than hardware. But, I mean, for example, the spectral denoise of Isotope RX is just a very high-resolution, million band gate, basically. And it's very good. I don't think you would be hard-pressed to find a better gate than spectral denoise in RX.
Yeah, probably. Midnight Wolf, if you want noise, watch my recent Ryobi video. That was noisy. Have you eaten Mexican cuisine lately? Me? Me or Dylan? Mark, that's an interesting question. I want to know where that came from, Mark. Have I eaten Mexican cuisine?
Now I kind of want to.
I've got special information here, Mark. You need to give me what you're talking about. DSPs, yeah, DSPs are good. Third Degree, why do I not hear people talk about the UR12 much? It's right around the price of the Scarlett Solo, and I think it's better in a few ways. How do you think it's better? It's really not. And that's the Scarlett.
Aiden pulling no punches right now.
I've used the UR12. My son used it. The Scarlett's going to give you a much better sound out of
That's
it.
That's Behringer, right?
Yeah. Oh, is that the Steinberg UR12?
The UR22, UR12. I mean, If Darren's still here, Darren has UR22C, and it seems to work well for him. I mean, he's been using it for over a year now, and not a ton of
Yeah, that
complaints.
is the Steinberg UR12.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
not the Behringer. The Steinberg's not bad.
Or Yamaha essentially.
Yeah, it's got really low. I think it's only 45 dB of gain on
Which
it.
is for a lot of interfaces, like a lot of what they talk about is a lot of interfaces are tailored to work well with condenser mics because they're assuming most people are buying condenser mics for interfaces. So for most condenser mics, you don't really need more than 50, 45 dB.
But the problem is Scarlett offers 56 dB.
Yeah, which is
Scarlett
better.
Solo.
It's better.
Well, it's better and it's more versatile. That's the thing. That's where you're. And I know that Third Degree uses an SM58, right? So that's the kind of stuff that you look at. There are noise issues. Bangs is right. The UR22 or the UR12 has massive noise issues, especially when you top off near that 45 dB of gain.
Well, yeah. Well, most
yeah.
interfaces, even when I recorded those shakers and my knob's getting close to the 4 o'clock mark, I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah, the noise can be deafening. Yeah, Steinberg EIN is crap, and that EIN is important when you're running a dynamic microphone.
I mean, I think it is a factor with any mic, especially if you have a mic like a U87, for example, that has a higher inherent self noise compared to like
and any self noise of a microphone just compounds on top of the noise, the noise EIN, right? So
noise, yeah.
Steinberg noise floor is pretty high.
To interface manufacturers, terminate your fucking connectors, assholes.
But that's the thing. Like you look at the Scarlett lineup, they're sitting at I believe 128 dB for their EIN, which is fantastic. That's almost as high as you can get. With 55 dB of gain, you can almost push an SM7B no problem.
You know what's funny? Speaking of noise, I think I told you about this off stream one time, but I watched, for anyone that hasn't seen this or doesn't know this, Dave Rat, awesome YouTuber. He's like super smart audio guy, and he had a Midas M32 and a Behringer X32, which are virtually the same board.
Yeah.
The difference is the Midas one is made a little bit more high end. Although now that Midas and Behringer are heavily in bed together, I don't know how long that's going to last. But he tested them, and a lot of the preamps of the M32 and the X32, they saturated differently. So when you drove the preamps really hard, the saturation was a little different. The harmonics were different. But the big difference was actually the output noise. The termination noise on the outputs, the output buses of the board was on the X32 was much higher on the output, not on the input, but from the outputs.
Interesting.
Weird, but anyway.
Question here from Paul. This is interesting. And actually, Paul, I'm going to give you one answer, then Dylan will. Paul says, I know this is a case-by-case basis question, but how much value do you really get updating Isotope RX on its new year-to-year versions? It seems pretty incremental at best. My answer to that is I still run RX6, which is that's 5 years old.
So I say when it comes to updating anything, whether it's Waves, Isotope, because it is a CapEx, right? It's a capital expense. So I always look at what am I getting. In the case, for example, of Native Instruments, I have their top of the tier complete bundle. So anytime they reissue a new one, I'm always looking at, okay, what does this have that the old one didn't? And is there anything that I'm going to get value out of? So with RX, I think the one I'm on is RX 7 or 8. And I don't really have a need to update anytime soon because it does everything that I needed to do. Isotope continues to support and update the older versions of that for now. I updated from 6 to 7 because RX7 had music rebalance.
I've thought about it.
Which was a really cool, because I'm in radio, we use that a lot to extract instrumentals out of finished tracks, which is kind of useful. But other than that, like the newer versions I've seen, or even moving from RX Standard, which is where I'm at, to RX Advanced, there's some more forensic type tools in RX Advanced that are neat, and that maybe would be useful 0.01% of the time. But I'm not about to spend, an extra $800 to jump.
I literally got Isotope RX for mouth declick. I spent
It's worth
600
it.
Canadian
That is
dollars
worth
for
it
mouth
alone.
declick.
That is worth it alone.
I have made so much more money with mouth because as soon as I got the mouth declick, I was putting out demos. I have easily made back 100-fold the money that I put into RX6. And there's no reason to move unless they improve the declicker where it gets even more mouth noises. I like their spectral. I like the voice denoise.
You use voice denoise, yeah.
Yeah, voice denoise is a very simple one-button approach.
If Isotope improves their algorithm, so this is the thing. Like I look at RX, and RX is all algorithmic in the way that all their tools work. So their tools, there's nothing involving machine learning, so to speak, although they have a learn button that's not really machine learning.
Yeah.
Whereas, so if Isotope and Descript could get in bed together, that would be a very, very, very good product because
so you think
Descript,
you think I should renew my relationship with Descript?
I would.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very useful tool, and
I don't want to do videos on it.
Descript is very quickly going to. I mean, so actually, I just got an email from one of our coworkers this week talking about how Descript now has a online version of the Studio Sound repair tool that you can just upload audio to, and it will spit out a repaired version, just one click, basically. I think Descript, given how short they've been in the business and the waves that they're making with their AI-based technology, Descript is going to be a contender, especially when they start getting more serious about the DAW functionality of their tool. I would watch out if I was other manufacturers because they're going to be important.
So I've got to go soon, by the way. Sean says, hey, Dark Corner Studios, can you explain that T-shirt in your recent video? I'm still confused. Let me just see here.
You got to remind yourself what T-shirt
I can't. I'm actually getting Dark Corner Studios T-shirts to wear in videos.
I'll buy one.
Oh, Wise Ass. It's Wise, and then it has a donkey on it.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the gist of it. I haven't.
I like. There's a T-shirt I saw because I'm a nerd. It was like a those tab like guitar chord charts, and it was like a F chord and then a big U beside it. I really got a kick out of that. I really want that shirt.
Yeah. So it's something I've actually got a new person working on my logo. So the logo is going to be done, which I want to get T-shirts done so I can do videos like instead of using all my other T-shirts. And like I'm always worried. I don't want to put two videos out with the same shirt, and I don't have a ton of shirts because I don't need shirts that much, I guess. I'm always, well, I don't like, what do
Someone is going to cut that part out of context and make it into a meme. I don't
give
need
her.
shirts that much, I guess.
Well, no, I don't need a large amount of clothing. I've never have. I'm jeans and T-shirt guy. Yeah. So I'm always worried that I'm gonna have the same T-shirt video to video. This way, I'm gonna get like 3 or 4 shirts done with my logo on them. Done. All videos will have a Dark Corner Studios shirt on it. So,
Mark Vega, great question. I want to tackle this.
All right.
So the thing about shotgun mics is they're designed for maximum frontal sensitivity and maximum isolation. They have the largest rejection pattern of any mic. Which in the context of on-location sound is obviously very useful. I have a few shotgun mics. The problem with shotgun mics in a studio setting is a lot of... Look at a guitar, for example. I don't have one around me, so I can't grab one. But an acoustic guitar, a lot of people look at the sound coming out of the sound hole, right? That's what is intuitive. No. The entire instrument has different tonal emphases, and you want to try, and a lot of times it's beneficial to use a mic that will give you a lot of different colors coming at it from different angles. It's one reason why in the studio a lot we use omnidirectional mics, which are the exact opposite of a shotgun mic, because we're trying to get a lot. And it's actually one problem that I had with the 58 is a similar problem that I have with shotgun mics is angling it is very critical. And there's and if anything, like if you move. And you're in a shotgun mic and you have some, like for example, using a shotgun mic to record a wind instrument, fuck right off.
Yeah.
Like, that is a bad idea.
Bangs also points out the interference tube can cause issues with comb filtering interference.
It can, especially if you're in a multi-mic setup. Like for example, you would think, okay, well, using a shotgun mic on a drum kit would be neat because drum kits don't move generally. But at the same time, drum kits are multi-mic configuration.
Yeah.
As much as I will admit I have used a shotgun mic for hi-hat on a drum kit before and on snare bottom, but I don't recommend it because you can, if you're not super precise, like to the millimeter with your placement, you're going to get phasing issues all over the place.
Yeah.
So there are uses for shotgun mics in studio settings, but they're just not very practical in a high precision environment like a recording studio. As much as they are an indispensable tool for on location sound.
Sean says, see what I'm doing for your t-shirt sales. By the way, I'll gladly buy 4. I don't know if I'm doing merch right away with them. I like, in order to fulfill merch, I might do like Amazon merch where you can just order them off Amazon, and I get a cut. But I don't know if I'm going to be running my own merch. The problem with Amazon merch is I can't guarantee the quality. And that's like, I don't want to be, if I do sell anything, I don't want it to be shite. I would much rather it to be decent quality. What was it? Oh, so Dimebag Darren says, please get me to more information on Descript. Check it out. I've got a video up of Descript on my channel. You can see kind of the gist. They wanted me to talk about the voice feature. So basically you can use anybody's voice with Office Script. It's very, very cool technology. At the time it was kind of bland, but it's gotten a lot more powerful.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I used it on myself, and it was literally an out-of-body experience. I wrote shit that I said that I didn't say. It was fucked up.
That said, I actually have to go. I'm a single parent tonight. My wife's at a birth.
Dun.
Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for the super chats. Appreciate that, guys. And we'll see you. Okay, 2 shirts. All right. Well, I'm still getting the logo done. By the way, anybody, if you're on the Discord, if you're not on the Discord, get on the Discord. I'll have the link should be in the description. It might be the dead link. There's a link everywhere. I put out messages about where the link is. I'm going to be getting everybody in the Discord to vote on what the final logo will be. So join the Discord. Get in on that. Any field recorder you recommend? H5 by Zoom.
F8.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'm thinking handheld field recorder. My bad. F8. Yes, Dylan's right.
You can use the H series as a field recorder. They're not exactly best fitted for it. They're not very rugged, which is the problem.
Sean, nobody mentioned you before you arrived. You came in. Your spirit was here though. Before.
I did before stream only because I added a softbox in my studio so that Sean wouldn't yell at me so much about my shitty video quality.
Oh, that's right. We did mention you before the stream, Sean. There you go. See, yep. Dylan's upping his game with his video. So
slightly.
Have a good night, guys.